welcome to another teacher registration session. So before we start, let us just go through the objectives for today. So at the end of this session, you will have a better understanding of the teacher registration process, the importance of teacher registration, how to navigate the teacher registration platform, and we will be here to address some of the challenges or to answer any questions that you may have. But first, why do I need to be registered as a teacher? The Education Act of 1980 states that all teachers in public educational institutions are required to be registered. These teachers are required to be registered in order to be eligible to teach in Jamaica and also to access certain services such as professional development in service training, the Master Teacher Program, the Aspiring Principal Program, and these are just some of the programs in the Ministry of Education. Now, how do I access teacher registration? How do I register as a teacher? In order to complete a teacher registration form, the teacher needs to access the online portal on the Teacher Management Information System, and we will give you the URL shortly. Now we need a list of documents after you have completed your application online, and these documents are essential to verify your employment and verify the information that you would have entered on the application form. Now first we need your TRN number, your NIS, your birth certificate, all academic qualifications, your passport size photograph, 2 written character references, a marriage certificate if applicable, or a deed poll, and these are for persons who would have changed their names. What we have also added to the list is an affidavit form, and this will replace the 2 written character references, because we know sometimes it is very challenging to get these references when we request them. And so we have included an affidavit form that can be signed by your principal. This form is only for teachers who are employed at public educational institutions and those who are employed to private schools that are registered with the Ministry of Education. Now, how do I submit these documents to the council? First, all documents must be certified by your principal or a justice of the peace. They can be sent via email to your respective registration officer, and we will provide you with the list of registration officers, the regions that they're responsible for, and their contact information, so you can reach out to them and they will provide you with all the necessary information that you need. How do I access the teacher registration platform online? First, you need to open your browser and enter the URL in your browser, which is tmis.jtc.gov.jm. Once you enter the landing page of the portal, you are able to navigate to the search button. There are also additional information on the page, but for the presentation today, we are going to focus on the search button because we want to ensure that the teachers search their status before they attempt to complete an application form. Now, this is how the search section of the page looks, and it asks you to please enter your tax registration number to check your registration status. Please ensure that you check your status before you attempt to complete an application form, because we do not want to confuse the process. It might very well be that your information is already in the system and you are attempting to complete a new teacher registration form. Now we have 2 main categories of teachers in the database. We have new teacher registration and existing teacher registration. New teacher registration means that you have never completed an application before and you need to complete a profile, then follow through after you received the email from the council to update or to complete the process. Existing teacher registration means that we have some amount of data at the council for you, and this data needs to be updated. Now, after you have checked your registration status, if the information that comes up says that you are not registered, you will need to navigate to the new teacher registration portal, and this is what the page looks like. What you are required to do is to populate the form with the information that is requested, and you will get an email to continue the process. Now, if you enter your TRN number and your status says that you are an existing teacher, however your information needs to be updated, this is the page that will appear. What you need to do is to enter your tax registration number, your first name, last name, and your date of birth. Then you click the submit button. We also have a guide at the right of the page that you can watch in order to assist you with this process. Now, if you are registered with the council or you have updated your profile and you need to log into your account to make some adjustments, you can go directly to the login page, enter your email address, enter the password that you would have used to create your profile, and click the login button. Now we know that online systems, sometimes you're trying to navigate and you're having issues. So we have listened to the teachers, and some of the issues that they have put forward to us is that when they're trying to recover their account, they're getting authentication failed. And what this means is that the information that we have in the database for you needs to be updated. It is not correct. And so if you're trying to recover your account and this information comes up that there is an authentication fail, we kindly ask that you reach out to your registration officer. That registration officer will search the database and provide you with the information that exists. And your registration officer will also ensure that they provide you with adequate information so you're able to continue the process of updating your profile. We also have teachers who are experiencing duplicate errors, and what it means is that the information for that teacher is already in the system, but what that teacher is doing is entering that same information in the database. Hence the reason why it is saying duplicate errors. So again, it is very important that you check your registration status before you attempt to complete an application form. We also have teachers who their school is not listed in our database. What we ask is that that teacher make contact with their registration officer, provide the name of the school, the quality education circle, the school code, and also the name of the principal. That school will then be added to the database in order for you to complete the process of registering. We're also aware that some teachers may experience the link in their email might not be working when they get the email in order to complete the process. There are two sections, there are two links in the email, and you are able to copy the URL into your browser in order to continue the registration process. Now, what we will be doing for you today is going through a live demonstration of the teacher registration process for a new teacher. It is quite similar for an existing teacher. The only difference is that the login page for the existing teacher will be different, and we would have gone through that in a previous slide. So what you need to do if you are an existing teacher is enter the information that the system asks for and to continue the process of updating your account. Now we will go through the new teacher registration, and the existing teacher update will be similar. Once you get to the section that asks for your educational information, your professional information, it will be similar. Now we spoke earlier about the registration officers and the regions that they are responsible for. The upcoming slides will detail the contact information for each registration officer. Kindly pay close attention to the information displayed. This is my contact information. If you want to reach out to me for clarification on any issue, you can send me an email or you can make contact with me. My number is listed and I will provide you with the necessary information. Thank you.
So our first step is to navigate to the teacher registration portal. Address is tmis.jtc.gov.jm. So now we loaded the page. Our first step is to check our registration status. So to do that, we enter our TRN. And here it says there is no record found. So in this case, we are a new registrant. So we'll click New Teacher Registration to proceed. From this point, all we need to do is to enter the requested information. Please note that all fields highlighted in asterisk are mandatory. So we start by entering our TRN, our email address. You confirm your email address. You enter a password. Confirm password. Select an identification type. Now, identification type can either be a driver's license, a passport, or a voter identification card. In this case, I'll use a driver's license. Identification number is the number on your driver's license, which most times is the TRN. So we'll re-enter our TRN. Enter your NIS number, title, select your gender, enter your first name, your last name, marital status is married. Next step is to enter your date of birth and your address. Select your parish, select your country. If you're having difficulty finding Jamaica, just hit J on your keyboard. It will be the first option there. Telephone number. The home telephone number is optional. And then next you enter your security code, which is shown here, right here. Please note the security code is not case sensitive. And once you've read the message, I have read the above questions and have answered each truthfully to the best of my knowledge, then you can tick the box and click next. It says one or more fields are invalid. Let's see which ones. Okay, so I may have typed the security code incorrect. If this happens, please verify that all fields are still populated and ensure that nothing is missing before you attempt to click next again. So now you should see a message, your registration is not complete, and an email has been sent to your email account in order to continue the registration process. So from here we log into our email to verify or see that we have received the message. Here we've logged into our email. You see where it sends a message, thank you for signing up with the Jamaica Teaching Council. Please see below information for logging into the website. It shows your email address and you should remember your password. You click here, it says click here to continue your registration. So we'll click that link. From this point we enter your email address and the password that we had set. So once we get to this point, all we need to do is to verify that this information is correct. Once we verified all that information, then we click next. Now we're at step 2 of the registration process. All we need to do from here is to click this link here to continue. We are at the professional information segment of the form. In this form is where we add our employment history. So in this case, if you are a new teacher, not yet appointed to your position, you'll select temporary. If you are a permanent teacher, meaning you are appointed to your post, then you select permanent. And if you're not employed, then you can select unemployed. Please note that each of these options will change aspects of the form, and you'll see that as we proceed. So let's create a scenario. You're a new teacher, recently graduated, and you are now registering with the council. You have been employed to a school, but you have not been there for more than a year. So you've been there less than a year. So let's go. First date of employment would have been in September, the 2nd of September. We have not yet been appointed. Your current post is a classroom teacher. Have you been teaching at the current institution for less than a year? Your response will be yes. And if you notice, when you select yes, the tenure changes from years to months. So we'll put in 9 months. Your classification, if you are a graduate from a teacher training institution, most of the teacher colleges now are attaining university status. In our case, we are a graduate from the Michael University, so we are trained university graduate, and our level, meaning at the level which you teach secondary. Next part says what type of school. Is it a public or private school? I am currently teaching at a public school, and let's pick Woolmer's Boys School. Now if you notice, once you select the school, the parish, region, QEC, and the teacher resource center they are all automatically populated. So from there, you do not need to enter anything else. The next thing you move on to is your specialization. This field, subjects currently teaching, is a multi-select field, meaning you can select multiple subjects in this listing. In our case, we are teaching information technology and mathematics. Subjects trained to teach information technology and mathematics. Now bear in mind, this can be any group of subjects you wish to choose. In the area of specialization, my specialization is in information technology. In-service training refers to any activity, any training activity you have attended since you've been a teacher. So in our case, we attended beginning teacher induction sessions, and summer training in Google G Suite. Any special awards? I haven't received any just yet. I can leave that blank as the field is optional. When all that is entered, you go through and you verify that information, ensure it is correct, and then you click next. At this point, you'll be asked to click here to submit your educational info. Educational info refers to your qualifications. So we click to proceed. Once the page is loaded, all we need to do is enter the institution we attended. In my case, it's the MICO. Please note that the form is an auto-populate form. So as you type in the school name, it will show you suggestions. My qualification is a Bachelor of Science in Information and Communication Technology. Major, Information Technology, and the minor was Math. Start date is the 26th of August 2016. End date was the 5th of July 2020. Now, in the instance that I have done, say, a diploma or a master's degree or postgraduate degree, and I wish to add that to this record, I can click this checkbox here. It will add another qualification. So let's put in institution was University of the West Indies, Mona. Qualification is Master of Arts in Education. Our major is Psychology. Minor, Mathematics. Start date was in August, so 25th of August 2020, and projected end date is, don't know the exact date, so let's make one up. Let's say the 5th of November 2022. Next. Once you finish entering all your, now before we go any further, let's just clear the air here. So this secondary example is just to show you how you would add an additional record to your existing qualification. Once you've done that, you click next, and it will show you that you are at 100% of the registration process, and all that is needed afterwards is verification. Now the message shown on the screen is a disclaimer that says I certify that all the statements and information furnished in this document are true, complete, and correct to the best of my knowledge and belief, and are made in good faith. I understand that the statements or information furnished on this form are subject to verification, and I agree to furnish supporting documents or information when so requested, and or names, addresses, and telephone numbers, if known, of officials or individuals who can substantiate the qualifications described above. I understand that intentional misstatements or falsification may result in disciplinary action. Thank you for completing your online registration. From here, you should receive another email giving you instructions as to what documents are required. From this point, below that, it shows you the regional offices and their contact information for you to reach out, get more information. Or you can contact us here at the JTC via the telephone number shown on your screen. The link below says click here to log into your teacher portal. From here, you re-enter your email address and password you created. Once logged in, you'll see your name. When you submit your documents for verification, your picture will be loaded here and your verification status will be updated. Your teacher registration number will also be found here. This process won't be finalized until you submit your documents for verification. From this portal, you can verify and update your personal information. You can also update your professional information should you change schools, or should you move on to a different school, I should say. Should you have anything else to update in your training experiences or any awards. You can also update your educational information, your qualifications. So say you went on to do your PhD, you would click add more qualifications and you would fill in that information here and hit update. You can also use this account settings tab to update your email address, change your password for logging in to the portal. Now, you should have received an email stating or giving you instructions as to what documents you need to submit to the council. So let's go back to our email and see if we see that message. Here we see the email that we received confirming that our registration, we have completed the process of doing the registration form, and it is now informing us of the documents we need to submit to complete the verification process. They are as follows: a certified copy of your birth certificate, certified copies of qualification or academic qualifications, 2 written character references, certified copies of your TRN and NIS cards, a passport size photo, a police record, and a food handler's permit for early childhood teachers only. So that is the registration process for new teachers in a nutshell. Should you have any queries or questions, feel free to contact us at the Jamaica Teaching Council, and have a wonderful day.